Hello. For those of you who are live, you can see what am I holding here in my hand is a train. It's an electric train, and it's from when I was growing up. My dad had a big train table in the basement, and this was my little souvenir that I got when that all got taken away. And I want to talk to you today about train of thought. That's why I have this little prop. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Danielle Bernack from DanielleBernack.com. Love yourself from Survive to Thrive, that lady on the internet who loves you. And I want to talk to you about train of thought today because yesterday I was listening to a podcast interview I had done, and it reminded me of this. Because during that interview on building a life you love, you can check it out. It's a great little podcast. But I was doing that, and when I was sharing my story, I wanted to share something, and I lost my train of thought. And that happens to everyone. And when you're doing an interview, people can feel embarrassed about it. Maybe they want to cut that out of the interview. But I want to talk to you about train of thought because I learned something about it and losing your train of thought and how it can help you, what I have to share. I got this from a friend of mine who I don't think she knew how true, how important it was what she shared with me. And it was about a train. And when she lost her train of thought, she said, well, just wait, it'll come around again because a train goes around on a track. And I'd never heard that before. If you lose your train of thought, just wait and it'll come around again. But a lot of times it doesn't. And I believe I know why. It's because people freak out when they lose their train of thought. They forget what they were saying and then they get all flustered. They start feeling tense and stressful. And then that blocks their mind from being able to think of anything, let alone what they were thinking about before. And that stress keeps them from remembering what they were wanting to talk about. But when you respond with the response I learned from my friend of, oh, yeah, I lost my train of thought. I'm going to give it a minute. It'll come around again. What you're doing when you do that is you are relaxing, you are expecting, and you're making room for that thought to come around again. And so many people, when they lose their train of thought, especially as they get older, they blame that on being older. And they start saying things like they forget everything, they have a bad memories, and they start speaking negatively over their mind and over their memory. And I want to encourage you to not do that. I want to encourage you to do the opposite. I want to encourage you to speak positively over your mind, over your brain, over your memory, and your thought process as you get older. People speak negative. They call them senior moments and all kinds of things. And I think they're speaking death over their brain cells because we speak life or we speak death. What comes out of our mouth, words carry things. And we know that when we complain, it makes us feel crappy. And when we speak good, it makes us feel better. I mean, it's just simple to understand that one is negative, one is positive, and positive is better than negative. So if you would speak over your brain, over your mind, when you forget something and say, I lost the train of thought, but it'll come around again. And you speak that expectation out there. You speak that space over yourself. It's like you're holding space for your own mind to remember. And it does. It comes around just like it did while I was on that podcast. And she had asked me if I wanted her to cut that out of the podcast because I had lost my train of thought. And I went, no, because you can listen to it and hear how I had lost my train of thought. I made space for it and it came around again. So I encourage you to be kind to yourself, to speak life over your mind, over your brain, over your memory. I don't care how old you are, speak life to your mind. And if you're a believer in Jesus Christ, you have a scripture you could even add to that you have the mind of Christ. And so I think this is a really exciting thing. And so I had to bring my little train out here. to share with you and encourage you to make room for your train of thought to come around again. So till next time, I'm Danielle Burnock from DanielleBurnock.com. Love yourself from Survive to Thrive, that lady on the internet who loves you. Mwah.